Miss Monica Bobbitt. Thank you very much.
All right, we are about to hear from the family of Lieutenant Colonel Dan Bobbitt, who was killed in a training accident on Wednesday. His wife, Monica Bobbitt, will be making her way along with the rest of the family to the podium. At this time, they are expected to address the media on the loss of this high-ranking Canadian commander.
Dan was a loving and devoted husband, father, son, brother, and friend. A proud Nova Scotian, Canadian, and soldier, Dan died doing the job he loved. He was so honored to be the commanding officer of the 2nd Regiment. He was fiercely loyal to his soldiers and his unit. His soldiers made him proud every single day. Anyone who knew Dan loved him, and his loss is literally felt the world over. He was the best of us. Our thoughts and prayers are with his injured soldiers and their families, and with the entire Royal Regiment of Canadian Artillery. Our loss is your loss. We would like to express our sincere thanks for the incredible outpouring of support from our family, our friends, our military family, and our country. We ask at this time that the media respect the privacy of Dan's family and friends and allow us the time and space to grieve. Ubik.
Okay. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you.
All right, a very brief statement there from the widow of Colonel Dan Bobbitt. That was Monica Bobbitt, saying that her husband died doing what he loved. She also said that this loss was felt by all within their community and the greater military family, and she also expressed thanks to everyone for their support and condolences. I want to go to Ottawa now. Mercedes Stevenson has been listening in along with us. Mercedes, this man being hailed as a hero and clearly a huge loss to his family. Let's talk about why he was such a leader and how greatly he will be missed.
A tremendous leader, somebody who was marked as a military star on the rise, and a man who was really well liked and loved by his colleagues, who all tell you about the smile he always had, the self-depreciating nature, and the great sense of humor. And we heard yesterday from some of his colleagues about how he could get soldiers to follow him and to listen to him, not by being an imposing figure of authority, but by inspiring them and by really being able to lead them in a way that made them feel cared for, that made them feel that he had their best interests at heart. And I can tell you, you heard his wife just speak about the global outpouring of support.
Go ahead, sorry, Mercedes.
No worries. The global outpouring of support was very interesting to see, Marcia, on his Facebook page, that there literally is a global outpouring of support of officers from all over the world who he had served with. I saw Australia, the Netherlands, Nepal, the United States, all of these people talking about what a phenomenal person he was and how heartbroken and stunned they were to learn of his death.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you to give us some insight into the military family, because we heard Monica Bobbitt there addressing the military community. How do they come together in an event like this to offer support to one another? And why is there this shared grief?
It's hard for civilians to understand, and it really is like a family. Here's why. You go through deployments together where their husbands and wives and sons and daughters are overseas, and that for the children, their mothers and fathers gone to very dangerous areas for 6-9 months at a time, sometimes a year. And so they all support each other. They make sure that there's someone there to look after the kids, to pick them up and drop them off at swimming lessons when mom or dad has them alone for months. They share the same danger of knowing that your spouse or your mom or your dad may not come home, and they really support each other through that. They are living in a small geographic area together. They go to social events together, and it really is a support system that is vital for when people are overseas. And of course, in the worst case scenario like this, where you have a death, they pull together. They will have people at the house all of the time. They will have food brought to them. They will have a tremendous amount of compassion and love from the friends of the husband, Dan Bobbitt, as well as friends who they've known throughout their military careers. And I have to tell you, Marcia, that I have spoken to a number of people who know Monica Bobbitt, the wife who just spoke, and they say that her role in the military community was as significant as his. She was very involved in caring for the wives of his subordinates and his soldiers. She was a real bright light, and that, this is as much a loss for her in the military community as for the community itself, not only as a wife, but that role she plays as the commanding officer's significant other. There really is a true social role to that, and the community pulling around her and saying that they knew her as well as they knew him. So very different than what we see in civilian life, but very important when you're talking about people who are willing to put their lives on the line, what we hear them call unlimited liability, which means that you're willing to lay down your life at any time here in Canada or abroad.
Yeah, even during a training exercise. Mercedes Stevenson, thank you very much for being with us at this time. We do appreciate it, and we will chat with you later. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.